Exclude is a very important part of the TypeScript toolbox. It's pretty much one of the most fundamental building blocks that a lot of the challenges go back to over and over again, especially those that do mapping of types and stuff. So we're going to see exclude a lot. It's an easy one, but actually I think it's a pretty hard easy one. Let's look at the tests and then we can hear how it works. So we got a union here of A, B, C, and D, all 4 separate things. And we're excluding, A, B, and C. There's no D. And we're excluding A. So we would expect to get back a union of B and C. So I think that should be straightforward. You can do this trick, though, with a lot more than just strings. So it gets more exciting as time goes on, but this is kind of the base case. Here we see we are excluding from string number and a function returning void, we're excluding function and expecting just string or number back. So anywho, Ian, how would you go about starting to solve something like this?
Off the top of my head, I'm thinking I'm gonna need an extends or an infer and be able to conditionally return something or not.
Okay.
And then what would I do? So I like to try to think about adding extends into the generics.
I don't know if we can here, right? Because it
doesn't look like it.
Could be anything, a union of whatever.
Right. Do we have to limit it down to only unions, or does this just?
Yeah, I think that's really what it's for. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I might start off by something like I want the T extends U. If it does, then I return T, and if not, then never.
Very close. Yeah.
That's not quite it.
So, yeah, I mean, really the way to think about this, and we'll show this in a second when we look at the TypeScript implementation of it, extract from T those types that are assignable to you. So if T is assignable to you, do you see what I'm saying? Don't return it.
Is this, do I have the T extends U? Is that part right? And I just
that part's right. So we're saying
this is backwards.
Right. Because we're excluding them. It's like a reject rather than a filter.
I don't want to pick. Right.
Yes, totally.
I had the logic backwards.
So
and
perfect.
I remember we did this one in our meetup as well. And the thing that was surprising to me about this was the distributive nature of unions in this case, right? So in conditionals, like that T is a union and it distributes, and like each value is checked against U, which I wouldn't have expected off the bat, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of like loops through the values. It's almost like it's iterating. I wanted to show there was a nope that I found. So I looked at solutions of other people trying to solve this, and the one you found is basically the one. There was this one that I found, which I thought was kind of interesting. Let's take a look at it and see how it errors. So this creates an object type, and what we want is a union. At the end of the day, this is sort of close, and you could probably massage this into place. And sometimes we'll see later in the challenges, there are ways that you can use like temporary mapped objects that you immediately index, kind of like an iffy. If you've immediately invoked function expression, you can sort of do something like that in TypeScript, but this is not going to ever cut it, because ultimately, look at this example here. What we're getting out is string or number, and no matter what's inside these curly braces here, it's returning a type, like a map of an object, if you like. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting one. One thing that I want to show people is that you can always see what TypeScript does for these things really easily. You can say type x equals exclude 1. Let's say you have this in your code, right? You're just looking for something like this to see how it works. You can just hover over it and hit F12 or right click and say go to definition. And then you'll be taken to the types. lib.es5.d.ts is this file. And here we see, this is what I said to you, here we see these solutions. We have exclude. Another one that's super important is extract, omit, non-nullable, parameters, record, pick. These are super heavy hitter, very good, powerful utility types. And you can see how they're implemented. They're pretty straightforward. The only ones that don't have a kind of inbuilt definition are these string manipulation ones. They have this intrinsic keyword that was used. That's just because TypeScript kind of implements it in the compiler offline. And these are hard coded into the TypeScript type system, I suppose, how capitalize, lowercase, uppercase work. But anyway, that's how you find out about these kinds of things when you're trying to do your work. So any other thoughts, Ian?
Nope.
Sweet. Let's keep going.